So good morning. We're going to start with some breathing. Today's class is I normally focus on something physical, and although this is physical, it's going to be more of an emotional style class. So it's all the poses we're doing are heart openers. So anything that you think of that opens up the front body is what we're doing. And usually when you do a class like this, you feel a little bit different mentally through the day. So if you burst into tears or whatever, don't blame me, it's yourself. Okay, so you've had all those issues, not me. I'm just bringing them out. And it could possibly be me as well that bawls my eyes out. Who knows? So we're going to start with some breathing, and the second lot of breathing we're going to do is going to start working that area, and then we'll continue through with the poses then. I haven't done one of these online, so it should be good. All right, so just start with Nadi Shodhana, which is the normal starting breath. So just bring the peace fingers down and using the thumb and the ring finger. You can join the two fingers together, the pinky and the, if you want to do that. So block the right inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Then just continue through. Everyone knows this now through your own time. Just continue on with that. This is one of the breathing exercises that is really nice to bring into your day, whether you do it for a minute, 30 seconds, or 10 seconds, or an hour. Doesn't matter. Just bringing this process does a lot mentally for you. You're just starting to focus on the breath. You're starting to focus on centering yourself. And then all the benefits that comes with the pranayama on top of that. But it's putting you into a place where you're focusing deeply on yourself. And then when you're ready, just release. Hands down and just go through a few deep breathing through both nostrils. So the second breathing exercise takes a little bit of visualization. So what I want you to do is just roll the shoulders back and just feel the shoulder blades moving towards each other. Just lift the sternum up slightly. And then I want you to focus on that space between the shoulder blades. So just mentally find that place. And while you're doing that, just breathe. Inhale deep, exhale. Slow. Just continually focus on that area and even squeeze a little bit more if that needs to get your attention to focus. Bring that sternum up. Bring the chin a little bit to the chest. Roll the eyes upwards, eyeballs. And then focusing on that area between the shoulder blades. You're going to inhale the breath from that area up to the crown of the head. And then exhale back down to that area between the shoulder blades. So inhale. Just visualize the breath going all the way up to the crown. Exhale. All the way back down to in between the shoulder blades. Inhale. Up to crown. Exhale. back down to between the shoulder blades. So the space that we're focusing between the shoulder blades is Anahata, so it's the heart chakra. So it's the energy center. We'll go more about chakras another time. It's the energy center. One of. So just continue with that visualization of shoulder blades together. Breathe from that space between the shoulder blades to the crown chakra, to the crown of the head. And then exhale from the crown of the head back down to that space. Another 6 or 7 times. And then when you're ready, just relax everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to just wake the heart up a little bit by coming into Anahata, which is melting heart. Okay, so this is the start of the opening of the heart. It's Anahata. So every time you do like a heart opening class, this is the first one you should do. So what I want you to do is, because we're focusing more on the heart, opening the heart, we can do it differently by just bringing the forehead to the floor, if that's more comfortable. But if you can bring the chin on the floor, do that. But even if you put a block underneath your chest, I mean like this, that's even a nice way to get into it and drop the forehead on the floor. Or a block where your forehead is. So just getting into it as comfortable as you can get in, and then work with the breath, and even focus on that area between the shoulder blades. Just every now and again, just go back to focusing on that area and using the breath from that area up to the crown chakra. So that's a really nice way to stay in the pose focused. Obviously, we're in the pose for 3 minutes, so the mind wanders. So if the mind keeps wandering, you can use a mantra, the mantra hum. Okay, so if thoughts keep coming into the mind, just use hum. Say that mentally to yourself, or you can say it out loud. They'll just shift the focus from non-alignment to alignment. Just trying to give a better word, but that one will do. So holding there, so you've got 2 focuses, the breath from the back of the shoulder blades to the crown of the head, or the mantra hum. So just continue that focus. We're over halfway now. So you're going to get a lot of benefits physically out of this class as well, but it's just the focus is different. The focus is emotion, and the focus is opening that heart. So a minute to go. And why do we want to open the heart? We want to open the heart because a lot of the time during the day, we're rolling our shoulders forward, protecting ourselves, we're protecting something that we think we can't give or we can't show. So by opening the heart, you're releasing everything and being open to anything, anyone, or any situation. Once you do these style of yoga classes, it's It's almost like you're walking on air when you finish, because you just completely release so much emotion that you keep inside you. Maybe thoughts, different deep seated emotions that you've tucked away for years. When you're ready, slowly just slide forward and come into crocodile pose. So bring the feet out wide, toes out, heels in, and bring the head on top with the hands. And just relax. Continue with the focus on breath. Continue with the focus on the mantra hum. Mantras are really simple, but they work effectively. Okay, so the communication between the physical being and the spiritual being, if you want to call it that, the soul, mind, body, soul, is vibration. It's not language. And so the vibration of the mantras is the communication. It's not the language. So when you're ready, help yourself up and come onto all fours. And what we're going to do is a couple of minutes of cat-cow. And so get yourself as comfortable as possible. If you need something under your knees or your wrists or whatever, get that. And we're going to do cat-cow in your time. So you do it how you want to do it. But just remember, with the breath, inhale is chin away from the chest, belly button to the floor for cow. And exhale is chin to chest, belly button to the spine, cat. Okay, so we're going to go through that and just get yourself into that rhythmic breathing. And go as slow as you want. If you want to just do a couple of rounds of these in 2 minutes, you can. You might want to hold for 6 breaths on each one. You might want to just push through it nice and flowy. This is a really nice heart opener. So if you just feel, just really the shoulder blades together and that chin away from the chest. And then we give our heart a break and we lengthen through the spine. Open up again. So just continue with that. Just like Nadi Shodhana, the breathing, if you could bring that in every day, this pose is the same. Cat-cow. Before you do any exercise, before you go to bed, when you wake up, while you're cooking dinner. Cat-cow is a really nice process to go through. The body loves it, mentally and physically. And just practice, always practice the rhythmic breath with this pose. And your body will get used to rhythmic breathing. So just another 20 seconds to go. So from here, just finish your last round, and then we're moving into Shavasana. When we get into Shavasana, just make sure you've got a block or a bolster or whatever you use for that. We're doing a different supported back bend than we normally do. Just get that ready, come in Shavasana, and just relax. Just allow that positive energy that you've just conjured up through cat-cow, just feel it go through the body. So every time, we've got a few Shavasanas here. So every time you come into Shavasana, make sure your heart is higher than it normally is. Okay, so shoulder blades together, chest up, chin to chest. Just focus on that every time we come into this pose. So when you're ready, just bring the knees into the chest. Squeeze the knees into the chest. And once you've squeezed the knees into the chest, bring the feet onto the floor, toes and heels touch, arms out wide, and just come into a few windshield wipers. So just nice and slow before we move into another heart opener. So then just come back to center. If you want to just have a quick look up, and I'll show you what we're doing. So supported bridge, we place the bolster or whatever we use underneath the lower spine. So we want this where the heart chakra is, which is in between the shoulder blades. So what we want to do is bring whatever we've got, use a block, or whatever you've got, like this, arms out wide, hands up, and drop the head back. Okay, so that's the pose. So we want that chest up as high as possible. So bulk yourself up. You want the chin away from the chest. This is 3 minutes, so get yourself comfortable. And this could be a little bit uncomfortable the longer we stay in this, but use the breath, use the mantra. Beautiful. And if you're really high up, you can place something under your head if you don't like that feeling of dropping that neck all the way back, or you might have pain in the neck. Beautiful. That chest is up nice and high. That's really, really good. So this is another life's going crazy out there this morning. It's another really good heart opener. So getting that chest up, chest out. You'll find today when you walk around, your chest will be out and people will think that you're beaming. Just enjoy that. Just continue with that breath. Continue with the focus of the mantra if that's what you like. The mantra is quite a nice thing to focus on, just that hum, hum. It's actually spelled H-A-M, but it's pronounced hum, just what the Indians do. It's another 40 seconds to go. I don't know if all you guys can hear all this what's going on here. But sometimes nature's, louder than living in the city, in the middle of the city. Oh, don't they know we're doing yoga? So when you're ready, just help yourself up either roll off or a real comfortable way of getting out of this pose. And then we're going to come into Shavasana again. And just remember to bring those shoulder blades together this time. And just feel the difference after removing something underneath you and how easy it is to get your chest up now. And how much more comfortable it is because we're just promoting that chest forward continually. And when you're ready, just bring the knees into the chest, have a squeeze. You can either roll to the side or roll up. And we're going to come onto our stomachs. You can grab a bolster or a block or something if you need to. You don't have to, but just have it there just in case. We're coming into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Okay, so we're here for a couple of minutes. And it's a big ask, 2 minutes in Cobra pose. So I'm going to show you a way you can stay in it for 2 minutes. So just remember with the hands, like most of you have heard me say this, so you can have the hands close to the chest and just at the side of the chest, elbows in and come up if you're fairly flexible in the back. But the more tight you are, the further the hands come away, okay? So you might want to be here, but we want to come up as high as possible in this, shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest, okay? So you might want to use the bolster under the rib cage and bring the hands there and push up. And keep pushing the hips into the floor. Okay, so the biggest thing we want here is you to come up as high as possible. So if you need to use a bolster or something, do that. Or have your hands as far out as possible, but we want the chest up, chin up. Beautiful. Squeeze the glutes. And with the glutes, they're always going to want to relax. So just keep squeezing every now and again. Just think of those glutes and squeeze. So keep pushing the hips into the floor. So the main aim is hips into the floor, shoulder blades together, and that sternum will come up. Holding there. Now 2 minutes in this is a really big ask. So if you need to come out at any time, make sure you do and just lay in crocodile pose. Or you might want to just ease those hands out a little bit if it's getting too tight. But again, you're going to get the physical benefits of this with the back bend, but you're getting the emotional benefits of opening up Anahata, the heart chakra. Keep pushing the hips into the floor, squeeze the glutes. We've got a minute to go. This should start building up a bit of heat. Any back bend will start building up the heat. That's the adrenaline. Okay, so we're squeezing the adrenal glands right here. So adrenaline is building up. So we're meant to have small amounts of adrenaline rush through us, not massive amounts. And in society today, we sort of run around with adrenaline constantly. And that's why there's a lot of illness and injuries, sickness, particularly mental illness from too much adrenaline pumping through the body. So we need short amounts like this, like we're doing. You've got 15 seconds to go. Squeeze the glutes, come up as high as you can go. Shoulder blades together, sternum up. And then when you're ready, relax the glutes, relax the body, come down into crocodile pose. And just feel that sensation in the lower back. So you're going to have truckloads of energy today because this heart opening sequence requires a lot of back bending. So your back's going to be strong. Your chest is going to be proud. You're ready to take on the day. So when you're ready, you're going to help yourself up. We're going to come into Vajrasana, grab the strap, grab your strap, whatever you're using for a strap. You may need it. So in Vajrasana, either in Vajrasana like this, or you can just sit on a cushion or your bolster, because we're here for 6 minutes. Okay, so like that, or you can sit on the bolster like this. Okay, so that might just be better for the knees, or a towel underneath your knees, behind your knees, I should say. So we're going to come into cow face arms. Okay, so you should all know that by now. So I'm going to bring the right arm up, bring the hand to the middle of the back, left hand out, and drop the thumb and come under, grabbing the fingers and coming into the stretch. If you need the strap, it goes in the top hand. We're working that elbow to the middle of the head. So getting yourself set in this pose here. So obviously the physical benefits, we know about this, we're opening up through the shoulders here, but what we're here is for the emotional side. So we're opening up the heart. So where your hand is at the back, into your back, push it into the back so the sternum comes up. Okay, so push it into the back, sternum up. If you ever feel too much in Vajrasana, just come into a cross-legged position if you like. You've still got to try and be in this sort of pose for as long as you can in Vajrasana, and then just listening to your body and come out. Don't just go, yeah, I can't do that, and just go into the easier version. Just test yourself, always test yourself. So keep pushing that hand to the lower back every now and again to bring that sternum up. Okay, so that's the main thing we're after, sternum up. Sternum up. I used to have nightmares about sternum up. I used to wake up saying sternum up. In my teacher training, that was my biggest downfall, was on my chest was always coming down. So the guru used to come around and say sternum up, and he used to poke me in the chest at least 25 times a day. And it bruised a couple of weeks. But now I know to have my sternum up. And stomach growling. The sternum up. You've got a minute to go. Hang in there.
The birds are quiet, but you're not.
This is the hardest part of the last 40 seconds. Okay, so you want to drop forward, so sternum up. Just bring that sternum up. Remember the mantra. The breathing from the shoulder blades, so where that hand is, all the way to the crown of the head, where the elbow is working towards. Inhale, bring the breath up. Exhale, let the breath drop back down. So last 10 seconds, sternum up as high as you can go. And then release. Switching sides. So bring that left arm up. Get the elbow to the top of the head. Bring the right arm down. Drop the thumb down. And coming up.
I'm trying to eat the mandarins.
I'm getting bombarded by coffees. Jesus. So sternum up. Grabbing that strap in the top hand if you need the strap. Continually work that sternum up. Continually work with the breath. Focus on the mantra or the breath or both. The next few poses after this are a bit shorter in length. So this is the longest holding poses today. It's a minute 30 to go. We're halfway through. So keep working that elbow towards the middle of the head. Keep bringing that sternum up. So pushing that hand into between the shoulder blades to lift the sternum up. A minute to go. Really deepen that breath, strengthen that breath up now. Last 30 seconds. So sternum up as high as we can go now. And when you're ready, release. Once you release, we're going to come into crocodile pose, so laying flat on your stomach. Stretching those legs out, toes out, heels come inwards. Stack the hands, forward on the hands. So the next pose is Purnasalabhasana, which is full locust pose. There's a few different ways we can do this one. We want the heart to open, so we want the hands down by the sides, palms on the floor. Bring the feet together, chin on the floor and just look forward. Then inhale, lift the chest up, legs up, arms up. Okay, so just bring those together, the shoulder blades coming up as high as you can go. And just hold in that position, okay? So we don't want to break any records, we're just trying to in a position where the shoulder blades are as together as close as they can go. And we're stretching the body forward, okay? So we're not trying to break the neck. We're lengthening through the crown of the head and lengthening through the toes as we bring the shoulder blades together. When we come up a little bit higher, just bring the legs up slightly as we bring the chest up, chin up, come up, and exhale, come down, back into crocodile pose. So I'm going to give you an option for the next pose. So Dhanurasana is done two different ways. Dhanurasana is floor bow. Okay, so there's two different ways you can do Dhanurasana, depending on how much flexibility you got on your back, in your back. So the first way is the way that you traditionally know. So grabbing, so you don't have to do it yet, because I'm going to show you both ways. So grabbing the feet, shoulder blades together, bring that chest up. Once the chest's up, kick the feet into the hands and then lift the thighs off the floor. And that'll bring you up higher. So there's that way. Or flipping over the other side. This one's a little bit more intense. I think it's known as wheel more than anything, but it's Dhanurasana. You bring the fingers pointing towards the shoulder blades, bring those heels up, arms in, and then come up. So that's the same pose, just one's more intense than the other. So pick your weapon, which one you want to do. We're not in it for a great deal of time. You can't be in these poses for too long, so they're short, sharp. So come into the pose. I'm going to go into the reversed Dhanurasana, and I'll keep a time on it. I can usually stay in this one for 8 minutes, so joking. So just coming up. So keep kicking those feet into the hands if you're in bow pose. Just kick the feet into the hands, lift the chest up. So sternum up, kick the feet, lift the thighs. Kick the feet, lift the thighs. Chest up, chin up. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Don't crunch the neck. Kick the feet into the hands. Kick, kick. Bring the chest up a little bit higher. Kick, and then slowly come out. Into crocodile pose. If you're in full wheel, just come into Shavasana. And relax. Beautiful. So decent rest between these, as you can feel they're all back bends, and you're going to feel that. Just take that focus to the chest and the heart. How you're feeling there now. And just check mentally how you're feeling, how relaxed you are or how open you are. So the next pose, just going to get you to help yourself up and come and lay on your back. We're going to come into fish pose. Sometimes when we usually do fish pose, it's called Matsyasana. We usually only do fish pose after shoulder stand. The fish pose is a pose on its own. And what you need to do with fish pose is just come up on the elbows and have the hands underneath the hips. Okay? Hands underneath the hips. Elbows on the floor, elbows underneath your shoulders. Stretch your legs forward and then drop your head back. So you want to come to the ground if you can, or you can place a block behind there or just hang there. You can do whatever you like with your legs, straight out, pointing the toes, or you can come into Sukhasana, just cross your legs, or you can come into Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together. Or you can come into Padmasana, or even half Padmasana, lotus pose. So whichever you feel like. The whole thing is a sternum up. Bring the shoulder blades together, drop the chin away from the chest. Don't squeeze the neck, keep pushing the crown of the head away. And hold there. Not in this for a great deal of time, a minute and a half. So hold there. If you're feeling it in the neck, just come up higher on the elbows. So bring the elbows closer towards each other and just drop the head back. So you don't want to squeeze the shoulders against the neck. Okay, so that's not what you want to do. You want to just allow the head to drop, but the sternum comes up. So keep bringing those shoulder blades together, sternum up. Shoulder blades together, sternum up. Keep breathing, use the mantra, breathe. And when you're ready, slowly come out of the pose and just lay in Shavasana. It's a pretty difficult pose, that one, because we're really stretching, arching that back, and it's hard not to put all that pressure on the neck. But we've got to try and relax that neck and release the pressure. When you put too much tension in that neck and shoulders, the pose becomes difficult. Once you learn to relax that, you'll feel the difference in the pose. You'll feel the lengthening through the cervical spine. So a lot of those poses I used to struggle with until I learned how to do them correctly and continue to do them. As I've told you before, I had 3 bulging discs in the neck. So those poses were like, I just said, no way can I do them. But you can, you just got to learn how to relax that area. The minute we squeeze our neck, we put all that pressure and the shoulders just engage. But if you bring the shoulder blades together and let the chest engage, you relax the shoulders. So when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. Have a bit of a squeeze there. Roll on the lower back. You might need that now. And then we're going to come into Ustrasana. So help yourself up. A lot of discontent with the live audience. So Ustrasana. So Ustrasana is camel pose. So full camel pose is this. So knees hip width apart. Hands on the lower back, fingers down, thumbs on the outside. And we're looking back. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. If you can look back, come into hands on the heels. Just remember you can use the bolster. Or something there. Then you can come back onto that. Bring those shoulder blades together, chest up, drop the chin away. Okay? We want the chest to touch the ceiling. All right, so you really want those shoulder blades together and pushing that chest up. So we want the sternum to come up as high as possible. Beautiful. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep dropping the head back. Keep squeezing the glutes. Bring the chest up as high as you can go. Keep bringing that chest up. Push the hips forward, Jules. Keep pushing the hips forward. Push the hips forward, squeeze the glutes, chest up. Look as far back as you can. Just another 5 or 6 breaths. Keep squeezing the glutes, chest up. Squeeze the glutes, chest up. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward, chest up, and then slowly, slowly come up. We're going to move straight into child's pose. Any version, wide-legged or just over the top of your legs, it's fine. And push those hips back as far as you can to the heels. So we really need to lengthen that right now because we've done a lot of compression of that lower back to get the blood flow going. So it's positive compression of the lower back. We've only got a couple of poses to go, and they're both 3-minute hold poses. You know them quite well. They're both really nice front body openers. So relax in child's pose. We need a good minute there just to lengthen through that lower back. Everyone's in child's pose really good. That lengthening of the lower back is really important here. We've got a couple of versions of like what they call a heart opening class for the energy for the chakra, so opening the heart chakra. And this one's all floor poses, and you can do a standing version as well, which takes about an hour and 15 minutes or so, which incorporates a few of these poses for these standing versions. A few more breaths in child's pose. And when you're ready, slowly, slowly come up. So the next pose is Supta Vajrasana. So Supta Vajrasana is knees towards each other, hips down between the heels. Okay, so that's the main part to get into this pose. And then it's the heart opener part. Okay, so bring your hands back, shoulder blades together, sternum up, drop the head back. So come to where you can, or you can come all the way back. If you've got a bolster, it's really nice to have the bolster and come back. Or if you can come all the way onto the floor, that's awesome. Elbows down, shoulders on the shoulder blades on the floor. And then if you're in this pose all the way, shoulder blades together, chin to chest. Okay, so that's really important, shoulder blades together. If both legs is no good, bring one leg out, one leg back, and then move into the heart opener by coming back onto the elbows. All right, so just work to what you need to work with. Remember, there's a lot of physical aspects in this as well, but the main part of the pose is we want the heart to open. So we want that sternum up as high as possible. So whatever pose, you might have to back off slightly just to get that done. Or you might be able to go into it all the way. Yeah, if you start feeling it under the back, just a cushion under the lower back, okay? So, or a towel, you just need to lift that. It just means you're dumping in that lower back. So it's a little bit of weakness in the lower back. And it happens, if I do this pose in the afternoon, sometimes I feel that I need support under the lower back. That's just from tiredness of the lower back. So a lot of really positive aspects to this pose. We're working on the knees to stretch through those knees and heal the knees. We're lengthening the quads, opening the hips,
But the most effective part today is opening the heart, so bringing those shoulder blades together, sternum up, chin to chest. So we've had chin away from the chest a few poses, so chin to chest. So you probably heard a lot about chakras. I don't know how much you know about them. There's a lot of different variations, depends what workshops you go to or what books you read about chakras. They're specific energy centers of the body. But by saying that, a lot of, in the West, they believe they're in the body, but they're actually not. Energy centers are astral, so they're outside of the body. But they focus on that area of the body, if that makes sense. So it's almost like we're just plugging into a PowerPoint behind our shoulder blades to start bringing energy into that area. So when you're ready, slowly help yourself up. Coming into Shavasana is really important. Straight after that one. Beautiful. So we've got one more pose after this, and it's a really nice way to finish. Okay, so it's an awesome pose to finish in the last one. So just allow the blood to flow back through here. Remember Shavasana, shoulder blades together, continue through that theme. When you're ready, bend the knees up and give yourself a good squeeze after that one. Just squeeze the knees, roll in the lower back if you feel like you need to. And then roll up. We're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So Supta reclining, Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. So get into it the best way, the most comfortable way you feel. So bring the soles of the feet together. You can use the strap. I'm going to use the strap today. You can either just pull on the strap or you can put it on over you and tighten the strap. You can have the bolster behind you or a cushion, or you can lie flat on your back, or you can have a block in between the shoulder blades. Is a good one here because we're working on the chakra, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Is you can tighten yourself up, have the block, place it between the shoulder blades, and come back. You can also place it long ways. I like it long ways in this one. And I'm just going to have the block, drop the head back. It's bringing the heart up. If you're on the bolster, just make sure that you're bringing the heart upwards. So bringing that sternum up. So 3 minutes in this pose. And then we move into Shavasana. So just enjoy this full body opening here. So just covering what we've done is we've made sure that our chest has been open. Okay, so the rolling of the shoulders is completely gone from that hour session. We're training ourselves now to get that sternum up and the shoulder blades back so that we get that energy through Anahata, the heart chakra. So anytime you need to align yourself, you feel a bit off, a bit out, shoulder blades together, sternum up, connect to the breath, and that's just like the universe plugging in to your power point that sits around the heart, on the back of the heart. Keep focusing on the breath and even use that mantra a few times. And just remember the mantras there all the time. So during the day, if you feel a little bit off or unaligned or finding yourself getting a bit anxious or depressed or something, just find a little quiet place and breathe and just use hum as your mantra. So 40 seconds to go. I'm going to finish on time today. That's probably the first time ever, or maybe I've done it once before. Not often. So last few breaths. Really enjoy this opening of the heart now. Just feel the difference on how you feel just from that. And then slowly come out of the pose to the final pose, Shavasana. Just moving everything away from you, unstrapping. And then laying flat on your back. Relaxing, bringing those shoulder blades together. Don't worry about focusing on pushing the chest up. Just bring the shoulder blades together, palms facing up. Feet apart and drop the toes away from the body. And just relax and just feel how that back feels. There's a lot of back bending today. In other words, that energy is just flowing through the body, but mainly through Anahata, so through the heart area. So now, just to finish off the heart opening session, just connect to the breath. And then focus on the beat of the heart. Once you connect to the beat of the heart, just continually say the mantra of hum to yourself. Make sure you're connected to the beat of the heart. Make sure you feel the heart. And then just hum, hum, hum. Just say it mentally. You can say it out loud if you like, but mentally is fine. Just continually focus on that beat of the heart. Focus on the mantra hum. So just by doing this, you're centering yourself When you center yourself, you're actually in flow motion, not slow motion, flow motion, which is pretty similar to slow motion. That's where you get to slow down and see everything that's going on around you. Not going in fast motion and missing everything that's going on around you. And just presuming that you know. Just slow yourself down. Just keep focusing on the heart and hum. And now just release the mantra. And just become aware of the natural breath. Now just give yourself a bit of thanks for getting here this morning. And then send off a gratitude to whomever or whatever you like. Really make that gratitude heartfelt. When you're ready, start wiggling the toes and the fingers. Rolling to the right hand side, take a breath, making your way up into Sukhasana. Continuing with the heart opening by bringing shoulder blades together, palms together, thumbs into the middle of the chest, sternum up, chin to chest. And I'd like to thank you all for being here and allowing me to take you through this heart opening session. I hope you all feel the benefits through the day. So just think about it through the day and the benefits you feel. So have a wonderful Friday, and I hope to see you all again soon. Namaste.